welcome back to Mason Cable News. I'm Britta Bausis.
And I'm Tyler Byram. So, Britta, what'd you do this weekend?
Well, last night I watched quite the Super Bowl game, Tyler.
Oh, yeah. there was that thing.
Yeah, little thing. I mean...
some people consider it wasn't much of a game in some people's minds.
No, it was surprising. I have few words for it, to say the least. Anyway, last week, this year's Mason Lobbies campaign kicked off on January 30th and marked the second year of the renowned event in which students from right here at GMU traveled to Richmond to interact with the Virginia General Assembly. This year's goals were centered on increasing state funding for Mason through discussing the importance of higher education. One such topic included the Virginia DREAM Act, a bill that would allow undocumented students who meet certain criteria to be considered in-state for tuition purposes. Throughout the day, students met with important Virginia legislators, such as Secretary of Education Ann Holton and Governor Terry McAuliffe. Congratulations for another successful year of Mason Lobbies.
Well, Mason, it is a new semester with new classes, new activities, and of course, new dining changes. On a campus where innovation is tradition, it is natural for Mason Dining to mix things up a bit and try and make more places on campus cater to your needs. With that in mind, here are a couple updates for the new semester. In order to prepare for future innovations, Hotspots, Sprouts, and Freshens have closed in the Johnson Center to make way for additional seating. Hotspots and Sprouts have moved into the hub where Original Burger used to be, and Freshens will move into a new convenience store to be created in Gallery 123 by the end of April. Original Burger is permanently closed due to the lack of sales. Construction on Panera and the space occupied by Patriot Computers will begin in June and plans on being finished by the fall semester. Jasmine's in the bottom of the Johnson Center will also be transformed into a second Starbucks by fall semester, and the renovations of Ike's are still on track to finish by August 15th. Also, Manhattan Pizza, located by the UPS store, is expected to open within the next couple of weeks, but no word on yet if they will take any form of Mason meal plans. For more updates later on in the semester or any other rumors going around campus for future dining sites, make sure to log on to building.gmu.edu for more information.
Well, thanks to Dell, George Mason may help discover some of the brightest minds in the next generation. Mason's HFB STEM program targets 6 to 11-year-olds and hopes to fire them up about science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Recently, Dell awarded Mason a $75,000 grant as part of its Powering the Possible for Communities Youth Learning initiative. Students at Hoffman Boston Elementary School in Arlington will benefit from the grant and will now have greater hands-on access to STEM content and careers. Kevin Clark, professor of education in the College of Human Development's Division of Learning Technologies, says, quote, "This grant provides us with a great opportunity to introduce students to STEM concepts in a variety of non-traditional ways. Whether they are focusing on digital media literacy and development or web-based applications, this program gives students first-hand experiences of STEM content knowledge," end quote. The program includes an after-school club and a parents' academy, among other valuable educational experiences.
Okay. Well, as we mentioned before, the Super Bowl was played last night in MetLife Stadium between the Denver Broncos and the Seattle Seahawks. Much of the controversy throughout the whole season was on if cold weather would strike on the site, being the first cold weather outdoor stadium to host a Super Bowl in recent history. However, last night the game kicked off with temperatures in the mid-40s and there were no signs of any precipitation. The game that was debatably the best offensive team in the NFL history against debatably the best defensive team in NFL history got off to a quick start when on the first play the Denver Broncos missnapped the ball and had the Seahawks recording a safety. After that, things didn't get much better for the Broncos. Seattle completely controlled the game on the defensive side of the ball, forcing Peyton Manning to throw 2 interceptions and a fumble. The offense of Seattle was solid throughout the entire game, while Russell Wilson continued doing what he had done all season, which was just to manage the game and not do more than necessary. Eventually, though, the team got into a rhythm, and the ball was spread throughout to 9 different receivers. By the end of the night, Russell Wilson had thrown 2 touchdown passes to Doug Baldwin and Jermaine Kearse. Marshawn Lynch had a rushing touchdown, and Super Bowl MVP Malcolm Smith had 10 tackles, a fumble recovery, and an interception returned for a touchdown, the 9th defensive player to win that award.
And quite a game it was.
This weekend in Mason Cable Sports, we brought you two men's volleyball games against Barton College and the University of Puerto Rico, Rico Piedras. It all started on Friday night when the Mason volleyball team hosted their second home game of the season against the Barton Bulldogs. The match was highly contested in the first three sets until Mason was able to handily put down Barton with a final score of 3-1, even with 3 kills and 4 blocks by Chad Stanback Jr. Jack Wilson led the Mason team in kills with 14, and Paco Velez, who only played in the final 2 sets, also had 11. Here are some highlights put together at the game by Mason Cable Network's very own Ashley Hill. The second game came on Saturday night when the men's volleyball team played the University of Puerto Rico Rio Piedras for the second time in 3 days. Despite the heavy competition and devout fan section by the Puerto Ricans, Mason was able to pull out the 3-0 victory. Once again, Paco Velez and Jack Wilson led the team with 10 kills each, while Joe Heim had a match-high 33 assists. Here are those highlights. In other Mason athletics news, the men's basketball team played the number 19 team in the country, St. Louis, on Saturday. The game was played extremely well by Mason. Some said the best that they have played all year. However, St. Louis was able to overcome a 7-point deficit in the second half to force overtime and eventually pull out the 87-81 win. Brian Allen had a career high with 30 points in the game, along with 7 assists from freshman Marquise Moore. This win keeps St. Louis undefeated in conference play and also keeps George Mason winless in conference and losers of 8 straight games. Mason is currently 7-14 on the season and is on track to post their first losing season since 1998. The team will face Dayton at home on Wednesday, where the Patriots hope to turn things around. And that will do it for this edition of Mason Cable News. I'm Tyler Byram.
I'm Britta Bausis. Stay classy, GMU.